Well, when we're talking about the soul and soulless,
Mhm.
possibly soulless beings stealing the soul. Now, I'm sure you're aware of the Wes Penre papers
A
and
bit,
some
a
of
bit.
his work.
Know
Now,
him.
he talks about NPC, non-player characters, and that more than half of humanity are NPCs. So, what do you know about that?
Well, I'm only guessing here, but I believe there's probably a parallel to what our astral shaman, astral Orma Jake says. He calls it piercing the overlay. So, for example, when they look at who they believe is the shapeshifter behind Thorhan, unfortunately, that in order to see through, you look at the lips and the eyes, and you see dark eyes, and you see lips that are not in phase, and so the skill to pierce the overlay is to pierce the non-playing character. In other words, some of these are just fronts for, as we might say, an avatar or essentially, our team believes that more than half of the people on the planet, this planet, have already lost their souls, and in that sense are non-players. And what I believe so strongly is that until we scientists can teach the serious science of what it is to have a soul, we will be susceptible, actually. And that serious science I've developed at what's called physicsofsoul.com. And just a 2-minute intro to that is very simple. When the body gets access to the implosion of charge we call human bliss, you're at a sacred site, magnetic lines cross, and you think a shareable thought, and suddenly your hair stands up, you feel bliss. That is a measurable phonon wave of implosion. You can measure it imploding the DNA, recursive braiding. And that centripetal force compresses the transverse component of the EMF of the aura into the coherent longitudinal propagation into the array, which is the collective unconscious. And that's what we call connection to source, that specific living centripetal plasma implosion. And that is a marketable commodity that the nasty AI can use as a battery until we learn to understand how to prevent our children from losing their soul. So that's a 10-second summary. And
I
we do
mean,
the physics in a
Is,
slideshow.
is that real? I mean, can a person lose their soul? I understand, Wes Penry talked about NPCs as coming into this kind of drama without a soul.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
that's what they play. But
Exactly.
but can an ensouled person lose their soul?